a half-dozen journals are devoted to human-animal studies, and thousands of research papers are published on the topic each year. As witnessed by extensive media coverage and a slew of trade books, the public seems to have an insatiable appetite for the latest findings on topics like the impact of pets on human health, the association between animal cruelty and human-directed violence, and the effectiveness of animal-assisted therapies. While there are important updates in this edition of Some We Love, some aspects of the book remain the same. For the most part, I have not changed my mind about the major ideas, and I have tried to keep the conversational style of the first edition. Throughout the book, however, I have updated basic facts, the amount of money we spend on pets, shifts in public opinion on animal research, the percent of vegans who go back to eating animals. This edition also covers recent findings in research on the psychology of human-animal interactions. Whole areas of research have exploded in the past 10 years. Between 2010 and 2020, for instance, the annual number of papers published on the use of therapy dogs tripled. Social psychologists are now pushing the boundaries by investigating topics such as how people negotiate the moral territory between loving animals and eating them, and the roles of emotion and logic in ethical decision-making. The study of human-dog relationships has been a spectacularly fruitful area of investigation, and canine science research centers are cropping up worldwide. The field has benefited from an influx of enthusiastic new investigators with sophisticated methodological skills, and, as in many areas of the social and biomedical sciences, more and better studies make for conflicting, sometimes controversial results. For example, new research indicates that living with pets does not necessarily improve the mental or physical health of humans, and the link between childhood animal cruelty and later adult violence turns out to be weaker than most people think. Other recent findings in this edition are related to the humanization of pets, the global uptick in the consumption of animals, shifts in strategies of the animal rights movement, and the ethics of animal research in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of the material in this edition of Some We Love originally appeared on the blog I write for Psychology Today magazine, Animals and Us. The blog now has over 150 posts, which have been read over 6 million times. The posts are based on the latest research on human-animal interactions, and they deal with topics ranging from the role of genes in our love for pets to the ethics of desexing dogs. When Some We Love was first published, I was interviewed for North Carolina Public Radio's The State of Things, hosted by Frank Stasio. When I walked into his office, Frank looked up and said, Dr. Herzog, I just finished your book. It's not really about animals, is it?" I wanted to hug the guy. He got it. At one level, this book is about how we think and behave toward the creatures we share the world with, the ones we love, the ones we hate, the ones we eat. But the overriding theme is what our relationships with other species reveal about being human in a morally complicated world. To this end, I hope this edition will encourage a new generation of readers to occasionally look up and think to themselves, I never thought of that before. Introduction. Why is it so hard to think straight about animals? I like pondering our relationships with animals because they tell a lot about who we are. Mark Bekoff, ethologist. The way we think about other species often defies logic. Consider Judith Black. When she was 12, Judith decided that it was wrong to kill animals just because they taste good. But what exactly is an animal? While it's obvious that dogs and cats and cows and pigs are animals,